All right. Well, I think this is podcast 72, um, is what I got up here. And one of our team members, Caden's on here. We're going to run down kind of what turkey season was, go through what we're thinking about this summer, and if we have anything good going forward us in the fall. Deer that made it, deer, that we think might be around, any of that good stuff. So, um, my turkey season was good. How was yours?
Well, it ended good, but started off a little rocky. Um,
Yeah.
I found out where the birds were. Um, I got on quite a few birds, but basically I missed. Well, I didn't miss. I wind up wounding three, and then wind up ran over my bow. So that kind of ended the whole chasing birds with a bow. And then finally got caught up with one on four season and wind up getting it done on the smoke pole.
Yeah. Yep. I killed one with a muzzleloader. My first bird I ever killed in Nebraska, like had to have been 2005 or 2006, something long time ago. But I recently had bought one, tried it for a year, had everything possible go wrong with it, and I sold it. So I'm not worried about that anymore. I'll either use my bow or a shotgun. I don't need to be fancy with it.
Yeah, I know I'm gonna still stick with the bow and try to get my first one with the bow. I've been trying for, gosh, 2 3 years, and it's just everything is going wrong. So I'm gonna try that
Yeah.
next year. But
Yeah, I'm after shooting those decaps this year, I will never body shoot a turkey ever again. There's literally no reason to even try because I went years without wounding a bird with my bow. Um, and then I hit two in the same season, and we're talking an inch difference in between a dead bird flopping and one getting away, and it's just not worth it for me. So I'm just like, yep, I'm shooting the decaps. That's what I'm gonna do. They work flawlessly all season long. Had zero issues with them, and I killed three of my four birds with them. So that's my plan for next year.
yeah, I'm thinking about trying the decaps next year also. But just need to practice more and need to get it done. So
Yeah, I mean it's such a foolproof system. The arrows and heads are all designed in one. Basically, shoot a pillow at 10 yards to see where you're at, and I didn't have to change anything. I am gonna probably I'm gonna have a specific site that I'm gonna use for them next year, and I'm gonna practice a little bit more because I'm curious on how far you can shoot out. If you can shoot out 30, 35 yards, I mean, you're shooting six fletchings, six feathers, so it's gonna die really fast. But if it dies consistently, you should be able to put in a sight tape. I shoot a single pin HHA, so if it should be easy enough where you can go, okay, this is where it's at 10 yards. At 20 yards, it's just a little bit lower. Get to like 30, maybe it's 8 inches lower. I don't know. I yet to shoot it past that far because I was tagged out with a bow before I even had a chance to even mess with it. I mean, I got them 2 days before Mitch and I went to Nebraska, killed birds out there, and then the first sit in Iowa, which was like the third day of the season, I killed a bird, and then 2 days later killed my other bird, and I'm like, okay, I wait for a month till I go to Wisconsin. So
yeah, you guys got it done pretty quick in Wisconsin.
yeah, I'd rather be lucky than good. I mean, Mitch's reap was I didn't think it was going to happen. It just one of those things. Dumb try it, and I had missed one. First bird I've missed with a shotgun in probably 7 or 8 years, but I reaped him and I couldn't see him, and had a hen work in right to the side of me. She was at like 2 feet in front of my reaper decoy and couldn't do anything about it. And by the time I saw him, he was within 10 feet of me, and I could just see the tip of his tail. And the hen caught me moving, and it was a debacle trying to get the gun around the reaper because I shoot a shotgun, and so I couldn't have seen anything if I would have went through the fan. And he just started boogering, and I took a shot, and it was just full of willows and multiflora rose and tall grass, and I think a couple pellets got through, but he was good enough to run away and fly over the creek. So we actually
Yeah.
saw him we actually saw him the next day out there strutting around. So he was no worse for the wear, but yep, it was a good time. So, but I am 100% ready
Yeah, I
for
think
deer.
yeah, me too. I'm focused on deer. Went and got some cameras put out. What was it, on Tuesday? Tuesday, I believe. One certain deer I'm going to go after. So if he don't show up in the next week or so, I'm going to start moving cameras around, get another one figured out. But I wound up finding sheds to him this past year, and he's a pretty good deer. So I'm hoping I
Yeah.
get caught up with him and get him patterned, get him figured out. I mean, he's only on like a 10, 15 acre patch, so it's just going to be hard sneaking in and getting him figured out. But
Yeah, I mean, it's this time of year, I don't ever try to get after deer with cameras. I mean, I just put them out, watch them grow, and we'll see who's around, because everything can change over the next couple months. And I'm just like, okay, let's see who shows up, walks in front of the camera, getting mineral, eating, clover or something like that. But I don't really worry about trying to find a specific deer until, you know, July. They get a little bit bigger
right,
and stuff like that, and they kind of start, bacheloring up a little bit more and a little bit more consistent. And you can kind of tell what deer is what by then. They got a good frame going on,
yep,
and all that good stuff. So
yeah. I know I got two deer in mind. A really nice 8, which I found sheds to, and then that big 6. But
it,
yeah, it's just right now just figuring out where a deer are at right now, because there could be anywhere right now. But and then yeah, go on from there and hopefully end the story in a good way. But
oh yeah, for sure. I just right now it's food plots and stand prep and all that. Like I was saying earlier, I don't really get too honed in on a certain deer too early unless they're constantly on camera. But my farms are really not. They kind of the bucks will bebop in on my personal farm. There's a set of twins, year-and-a-half-old bucks that are there every single day, but the other deer kind of fluctuate, and they're like every 10 to 20 days they kind of rotate in through there. So, and that changes once it gets into deer season and they go hardhorn. They're a
yep,
little bit more consistent, but that's why I just have, half a dozen cameras out. Most of them are out for turkeys, so I need to kind of switch stuff up and move them around a little bit, throw some mineral out in places, and some water sources, and just, a couple food plots. But yeah, nothing too crazy. I don't really start getting cameras out till July.
right. Yeah, I got a couple spots I want to try to get some food plots in. Um, I know we got 2 out at my mom's right now, so we need to get that mowed, and then get some stands hung around there, switch some things up, and I just got another piece of property, um, not too far from me. See if I can't get a food plot in there, and but
Yeah, that should be good. Anything else this summer that you got planned?
oh, I'm gonna try to do quite a bit of fishing. See if we can't get some flatheads. Other than that, I just deer prep really.
Yeah, you rod and reel for the flatheads, or do you put
Yeah,
out bank lines?
we do both.
Okay. Yeah, we Greg and I sold our boat a couple months ago, and it's gonna suck not doing it, but we just never got out enough to justify having a $10,000 boat that we just flathead fish for. So,
Yeah,
um, it was fun. I enjoyed. I love doing it, but man, it just got to the point where it was so hard trying to do it. You're getting out after work, setting lines real fast, running home, getting up in the morning, running out there at first light, checking them, and then running home because kids have certain things or you have stuff planned. It wasn't like it used to before the kids got bigger, and I think Greg even had a kid. We were running. We would camp on the sandbars, and we'd go out 2 days in a row, and we were checking the poles 2 times in the middle of the night and just having fun. But yeah, it got to be a job, and that kind of burned us out.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I mean, we just got just a 12-footer, just old flat bottom John boat, and we do it for the fun of it mostly. Like the bigger ones we don't keep, but I mean we'll keep the 10, 8, 5-pounders. But yeah, I'm
Yeah,
hoping to get out quite a bit this year and see if we can't catch some of them 50+ pounders.
yeah, yeah. You got a lot of them over there. What river's that by you?
The Des Moines and the Skunk.
Is it the? Oh, okay. Yeah, we would do the raccoon and the Des Moines every once in a while, and it was fun. I love doing it. Like I said, I'm gonna miss it 100%. I mean, I like to. We got a buddy that's got a big boat, big river boat that we could probably get on, and hey, let's make like one day and let's go. And
Right.
I think that would be fun. It'd be a blast. But maybe who knows? Maybe we'll do it. We have all summer to pretty much do it, and if we get a free weekend, we're like, hey, we should go catfishing. I'll go try to find bait somewhere and go get some bullheads and just see what we can do. I think it'd be fun. But we've eaten everything from a 5-pounder to a 50-pounder. I mean, we had a 50
Really.
pounder that just it, he either got on early or got harassed or something like that, but he just wouldn't. We tried to let him go and he just wasn't having it, and took like 20 some minutes of trying to revive this fish. I think he was under 50. I think he was like 46 pounds, but tried to revive him. Literally laid him, in a foot of water by a sandbar, and he just sat there and then eventually rolled over. So we're like, well, we're gonna eat him, and that fish tastes exactly like a 10-pounder did.
Really.
Didn't. Yep. It's not like other things where the older ones are gross. It was great actually.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to keep one that big. It's just, but I mean, and I think of like how long have they lived to get that big?
I was surprised they don't. It's not that old because we caught that 72-pounder a few years ago, and they're saying that thing was only like 15 years old, 20 years old, something
Oh,
like that.
really?
So not as old as you would think. Um, but yeah, I mean, a 50-pounder is probably 10 to 12 years old, something like
Yeah.
that. I could be wrong. It's been so long since I thought about it. We got to the point last year where we're like, hey, we're going to do a fish fry. We're going to keep fish. It
Yep.
is what it is. It's a renewable resource. It's, I think it's the guys that go out there and, you know, fill their boat with 40-pounders and take every single one. And if you do that, that's totally legal. You 100% can do that. But
Yep.
we always just CPR, catch, picture, and release. And then we
Yep.
keep a couple. Every once in a while, you'd foul hook one, you get one in the gullet, and you're like, all right, we're not getting a hook out. We might as well eat this one. But I'd say the majority were that 15 to 25-pounders that we would keep, and we'd only keep like one or two a year. But we went through that drought a few years in a row, and just fishing was awful. It sucked. We were like 2 years ago we fished. I think we went out 3 times and only caught one flathead, and it was like a
Really.
45-pounder. The first run, like right now, was the only flathead we caught, and then we caught maybe 15 or 20 channel cats, and yeah, it was awful.
This year it's been pretty good. The river's been up, so
It
hopefully the
has
fishing's a
been,
little
yeah.
better.
I drive over it all the time, taking my daughter to gymnastics, and I'm just like, man, that river's high. That looks good, And I've even thought about just walking the bank a couple places and just putting out, my 5 poles and going and checking them in the next morning,
Yep.
But I'd hate to do it and have some random person walk around and pull them. That's what
Yep.
always bothers me, because if I can walk to it, that means somebody else can walk to it, and if someone's driving on a boat, they're going to see it. And, you know, we never had anybody mess with us really. But we'd be out there and we'd see people fishing all the time. And for the most part, people left stuff alone. But you'd it was weird because we would use those Whisker Seekers circle hooks. And it's like, there's no way that you're having blank hooks. Like it's just,
Yeah.
it's not a thing. And we went, was it last year, the year before, with bullheads, especially because we hook them through the top jaw and through the skull, and you're either having bait on there or you're having a fish on there. And I think out of the
Yeah.
10 pulls, I think 6 of them were empty. And I went, nah, somebody messed with our stuff. Yeah,
Yep.
you know, because it wasn't in. We use the solid fiberglass rods, and we would wrap the extra string around the end, so when a fish would pull it, it would ravel it out, so you could see all the lines gone, and all of them that had empty hooks were still wrapped up. It's like if it was a turtle and it would have did it, it would have left the head or something like that, or would have got caught. You know,
Right.
so we were pretty sure people were messing with our stuff, and that was kind of another thing. Like we just don't have time to do it. It's hard enough to try to figure out how to get in there, get the time away, and then just to have stuff get messed with and not catch fish. It was like, yeah, it was too stressful for me.
Yeah, we've had a lot of people, check our pools. We've caught people checking our pools, and I mean, it is what it is. You're gonna have it. I mean, you're gonna have that one person who sees it bouncing, like, oh, we have to check it, you know.
Yeah,
But I mean, diddy pulling, you're gonna have it. I mean, it's the same thing with deer hunting and turkey hunting. You get permission to a piece of property, and next thing you know, somebody else has permission to the piece of property.
yep, yep. You just kind of got to do what you can do and either get pissed off about it or move on. So we just kind of said the heck with it, and that's how it's going to be.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, that's just, I'm not gonna let, some little thing, ruin it for me. I have a blast doing it, so I'm gonna continue doing it.
Yep, yep. Like I said, I might either I'll probably run them once at some point this summer. Like I said, even if it's just going down somewhere. And the problem is if you don't know where the holes are, and most of the spots that we would fish, you had to access by boat that you knew were
Right.
good spots. You know, so you can't really just be walking all over private property to go and put poles out. You know, so Greg and I thought about doing canoes or something one time, putting in at one boat ramp and just floating, a mile or so downstream and kind of putting them as we go. And I'm like, I'm all for it, man. That'd be fun. You know, it sucked. I wouldn't mind putting them out that way, but checking them that way would kind of suck. But
Yeah, we
I don't know. Maybe we will. I don't know.
we done it one time in kayaks, and
Okay.
I mean, it was fun, but it was a hassle.
Right. And that's the thing. Like the poles are so inconvenient. You got to have bait. You're trying to get out. Like it's almost like you're gonna get muddy. You're gonna get soaking wet. And
Yep.
it was bad enough with a boat. You know.
Yeah, but I mean, we caught we caught a few doing that. I mean, it's fun. I mean,
Right.
they pull you all around and everything, but it's just getting a 20-pound flathead in the kayak, and then plus you got your poles and your bait, and I mean, you're bound to lose something.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds fun in theory, and that's why maybe a canoe wouldn't be so bad. I'd even if I had to like borrow one from somebody, a big ass canoe where the two people would sit in it, like I could deal with that. But those things get so rocky and so side to side, and like even we had a 14-foot flat bottom sea arc, and I would stand up to like put the anchor rod in so I could put the pole in, and that whole thing would just start doing this. And I'm like, man, you try to do this, and like we're getting wet, like that's all there
Yeah,
is to it. And I'm like, man, this sucks. And I don't know, maybe just go with somebody fishing once would probably scratch the itch, honestly.
yeah,
So we might make a phone call or two and see if we can find a weekend to do it. And like I said, even like putting them out Friday night or even during the week sometimes. Like if set my schedule a little bit later, have Greg call in a little, say he's going to show up an hour later, and we can get there early enough where it's not a big deal. So
Yeah.
we'll have to.
Yeah,
We'll see how it goes though.
Yeah, I plan on trying to put some polls out Friday. Weekend's pretty busy, but we'll see how that goes. See if I got time, but
Yeah. Memorial Day weekend's usually the weekend was usually our second or third trip. Honestly, we as soon as turkey season was kind of over, even into fourth season, we would just go, okay, let's go try. And now I'm busy on my farm. Greg's busy on his. Like I said, we just had a million other things going on. We're like, well, one thing's got to give, and fishing the river with the boat's the one that gave it up. So I
yeah.
miss it. Like I said, we'll make it happen somehow.
Yeah, I mean, I got a lot of cedars to cut over on my mom's place, so who knows? I mean, it's just a toss up what to do this weekend.
Yep, it should be fun and entertaining, but yeah, really, that's all I got. Quick little podcast, and like I said, turkey season's over, rolling into summer prep, and season will be here before you know it. I'm ready. Like I said, I have constantly have stuff going on. I just hope we keep on getting rain all summer. That's my biggest
Yep.
thing. If we can just get half an inch a week average, something like that, just here and there, enough to keep stuff growing and hopefully knock on wood, no
Yeah.
EHD this year, and see what happens.
Yeah, we got 2.5 inches where I'm at, so I mean
Yeah,
the ground's still wet.
I got 4.5 on my farm that day that it rained. I got 3/4 of an inch, and then the following day, the rest of it. So everything should be nice and soaked, and I might get down
Oh
and
yeah.
spray my corn and beans Saturday or Monday. I will have to kind of see. Probably Saturday if I get away, but who knows? If I don't, I'll have to wait a week and do it when I
Right.
get back. So awesome. Well, thanks for jumping on here. We'll have to keep in touch throughout the summer and see what's going on, and hopefully trail cam pictures start rolling in the next month or so. You get into June and deer start showing up, and you can kind of see what's going on.
Right.
All mine I got a couple that are pushing G2s, but for the most part, it's so hard to tell what anything is going to be.
Right. I don't know. I still got to name this deer, even if he shows up. If he don't, then I ain't gonna worry about him. But
yep, let him show up and then worry about it. That's how I am with most of mine.
yep.
So awesome, man. Well, I appreciate it. Let's like I said, let's keep in touch.
Let's do. Thank you.
Yep, have a good one.
You too.